Why is it so nasty in Georgia? They're afraid of Herschel Walker. He transforms the Republican Party. It's not just about this election, it's about the future of the party. John James, Tim Scott, Herschel Walker, all the conservative women who are becoming Republicans are changing the face of the party. So folks, if you want the Republican Party to grow and thrive, have Herschel's back. They tried to ruin his life because they're afraid of people like Herschel. So go to teamherschel.com, not just to win this election, but change the future of the Republican Party. Make conservatism look like America. Teamherschel.com now.
If you're in Georgia, it's going to be close. Get out and vote. It's all about turnout as of now.
Get out and
All right,
vote.
Lindsay, thank you. And Herschel, great to see you. Now, a terrifying story tonight.
Now, he thanked Herschel, but I didn't hear Herschel Walker say anything. What you just watched was Lindsey Graham playing puppeteer with Herschel Walker sitting right by his side. And this is not the first time that this happened. We've seen it over and over, sometimes with Ted Cruz as well. So we're putting up those graphics where Herschel Walker is just being led by these guys and really is not saying much of anything. This is the GOP's goal. Keep Herschel Walker quiet, because while Walker is a grown man, no doubt about it, he doesn't tend to say the things in the way that they would like them to be said. Herschel Walker has such an issue with what he says that his team banned journalists from coming within 20 feet of him. That is coming from Insider. And here are some examples of some of the things Walker has let slip. I live in Texas. Herschel Walker's speech adds to Georgia Senate runoff problem. Oops. I'm not even running in the state I live in. Or how about this? Herschel Walker veered off in a campaign speech to rant about werewolves killing vampires. Now, we are so far removed from Halloween. I don't understand what the connection was there. Maybe Herschel understands it, needs to explain it to us. And recently, President Barack Obama called this out. Watch this.
Every day he comes up with something. Every day. Since the last time I was here, Mr. Walker has been talking about issues that are of great importance to the people of Georgia. Like whether it's better to be a vampire or a werewolf. Now, listen, this would be funny if he weren't running for Senate.
President Obama is so right. Personally, Jordan, and I want to know what you pick. I'm picking vampire, just for the record.
Yeah, I guess I'm team vampire as well. Werewolf seems like it would be slightly more inconvenient if you change during like certain moon cycles. It might affect my schedule.
I heard that. Jordan is all about the schedule. I'm with you on that. And President Obama made a very important point, though, in a very hilarious or satirical way. But yeah, it would be funny if the man was not running to be a U.S. senator from the great state of Georgia. And things aren't looking great for the runoff for this candidate, not at all. Let's take a look at this headline. Amid GOP worries, Herschel Walker's campaign desperately pleads for cash. With control of the Senate no longer in play, the Georgia Republican is having a tough time convincing voters they need him. Now, Walker's campaign is begging donors for money. And for reference, let's put this up. Warnock and the Democratic groups backing him have spent and committed a combined $92 million since the November election, compared with $45 million that Walker and his Republican allies have ponied up. So we know that we are in a runoff in Georgia. I don't know, George, just even looking at those numbers, even though I am certainly happy that Reverend Warnock is in the lead in the fundraising, what it takes to run a race, especially on the federal level, is really obscene these days.
Absolutely, that's a huge haul for Warnock's team, but also grassroots groups on the ground have had a really difficult time raising money. It's been a really, really tough fundraising cycle for small, independent grassroots organizations in the state of Georgia who do the field work to get out the vote. And what has changed is Warnock and Ossoff won largely in 2020 because of mail-in voting in a runoff. Well, that's been severely restricted, if not totally banned for this runoff cycle. They made that change in between then and now, the Georgia state legislature. So they're not gonna have the same ease of access to mail-in ballots for this runoff. You could do early voting, but that was limited, a lot of challenges around that. It's also going to rain and storm potentially pretty severely in Atlanta on Tuesday. So these are things that you can't really control right now, but every vote absolutely matters. But what this shows is on Fox and how they're limiting media access is deep down Republicans know Herschel Walker is not the guy for this job. They know he's a loose cannon. They know he's not qualified for the job. He's just a conduit. He's a vehicle for them because they want one more seat and they want to severely restrict Democrats' ability to do things in Congress, specifically in committees. And that's the change here. It's not going to change complete control of the Senate. It's going to change the committee structure. So every vote absolutely matters. I hope people who know friends in Georgia or family in Georgia or live in Georgia get out to vote. Today's the last day of early voting, so get out there on Tuesday if you can't. Every single vote matters.
It absolutely does. Every election cycle, it matters. So please get out there to vote. And actually, Jordan, your point, they don't even care about their own constituents, because if they did care about this is just a pure unadulterated power grab, because if they cared about even their Republican constituents, there's no way in the world that they would want Herschel Walker to be in the Senate representing them, but they don't care about that. And we can think of better ways to spend $92 million rather than a campaign, but that's a whole other story. Almost 80 million is spent on TV ads for Georgia's 4-week Senate runoff. This is sick. We need campaign finance reform in this country. So this is a much bigger issue than what is happening in Georgia.